The Federal Reserve commands an economic force unmatched in human history. With a few keystrokes or the mechanical hum of a printing press, this institution can generate trillions of dollars, dictating the financial realities of global markets. Today, it presents itself as the ultimate public authority on money, an independent pillar of the American government. Yet the DNA of this public-facing powerhouse was coded entirely in secret. The blueprints for this power were not debated in a public forum, but were instead drafted during a covert operation kept at a distance from the American electorate. Understanding this origin story is the only way to see who actually controls the value of the currency in your pocket today. To see why they did it, we have to look at the volatility of late 19th century America. Without a central stabilizing system, the economy suffered through brutal, unpredictable cycles of rapid booms followed by devastating busts. The breaking point arrived in 1907. A massive run on deposits caused the entire American financial system to seize up, pushing the country to the absolute edge of total economic collapse. The situation was so dire that a single private citizen, financier J.P. Morgan, had to step in. He locked the top bankers in his library and personally committed his own vast wealth to bail out the U.S. economy. Relying on one man to act as a financial backstop was unsustainable. Both politicians in Washington and bankers in New York agreed a central bank was now required for national survival. But they faced a massive obstacle. The American public fiercely despised Wall Street. Any central banking legislation proposed by the financial elite would be immediately voted down. The wealthiest men on earth knew they couldn't build their desired financial machinery in the light of day, so they decided to engineer it in the shadows. On a freezing November night in 1910, a covert operation began at a Hoboken, New Jersey railway station. The passengers boarded a private railway car under strict protocols of secrecy. The window shades were drawn completely shut. The press was kept entirely in the dark. To avoid detection, the men were instructed to address one another only by their first names. Inside were the architects of the new financial order. Among them were top banking executives from institutions like J.P. Morgan, alongside the heavy political muscle of Senator Nelson Aldrich. The half-dozen men sitting in this single rail car held a stunning concentration of capital, representing approximately 1/4 of the world's total wealth at the time. These private titans had assembled to perform a hostile architectural takeover, rewriting public law from a position of total anonymity. Their journey ended at the Jekyll Island Club, an ultra-exclusive remote resort off the coast of Georgia. They locked themselves inside for 9 days. Their primary objective was highly specific: draft a powerful central bank that did not look, sound, or operate like a central bank in the eyes of the American voter. The deception began by replacing the toxic word bank with a federal-sounding reserve system. Structurally, they split the system into 12 regional branches, creating the illusion of local control. But a hidden mechanism ensured all money creation authority funneled secretly back to one place, New York. By utilizing fractional reserve banking, this hidden New York authority allowed a select group of bankers to quietly control the multiplication of the nation's entire money supply. The Jekyll Island blueprint served as a political bypass, an elaborate facade that neutralized public opposition by hiding centralized authority behind a mask of decentralization. By 1913, the plan was put into motion. The Jekyll Island blueprints were successfully laundered through Congress by presenting them to the public as an anti-Wall Street, government-led initiative. The final victory occurred on December 23rd, when President Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act, cementing the secret design into permanent law. Everyday Americans cheered the passage of the act. They read the headlines and falsely believed they had successfully reined in the vast power of the financial elites. They were celebrating a system that Wall Street had specifically designed to permanently consolidate its own power over the nation's wealth. In the decades that followed, the U.S. dollar evolved to become the undisputed, inescapable bedrock of all global commerce. Today, the hidden architecture drafted in that Georgia resort room unilaterally dictates inflation, employment, and wealth distribution for billions of people worldwide. This is not a fringe theory. It is the documented historical reality of how modern financial power was actually established. The American financial system was not born through democratic consensus. The true mechanics of money and power are rarely built in the light of day.